Tennessee at Detroit. Detroit minus 11. We've had two double-digit favorites through 7 weeks. Don't forget, the first few weeks of the year, first 2 months, the average spread was like 4 points, which is the tightest it's been
Yeah.
in a generation. Currently, three double digits in week 8. We're going to talk about Tennessee, Detroit. We also had Baltimore, Kansas City, at Cleveland. It's come down. We had Kansas City at Las Vegas. We'll talk about that. We talked about this Sunday night. Like, we're going to bet the Lions here. It was at 12.5, 11.5, 11. So we know wise guys are betting on Tennessee, but double-digit favorites at home past 5 years, 54%. And we can keep preaching on the Lions right now, but this is not an offense that sort of plays down to its opponent. The offensive line is just too dominant. And they're going against a team whose pressure rate is bottom third in the league. They've blown first half leads in 3 of their 5 losses. In the second half, I mentioned this at the top, they're the other team that is giving up 16 points per game. That grows to 19 points per game, last in the league. Like, I do not fear that Tennessee will keep it close. I think, like the Bills, the Lions are more inclined to run away with it in the second half. Simon, we're going to bet the Lions minus 11.
Really? You're going to guarantee this will be in our contest?
I feel good about it right now.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page where I like the Lions. I said I'm shocked this line wasn't 14. I mean, just their offense is just humming in every way. You know, betting this, though, that the only way we lose is not Tennessee winning. It's Detroit beating themselves somehow, right? We finally get that bad golf game. I mean, he's been the Terminator these last 3-4 weeks. Like, he's just automatic killer every week. Like, he doesn't miss, makes the right read every time, always finds the open weapon. And we talked coming into the season, no team had the better put together offense than this team, right? They just nailed last year's draft, getting Laporta and Gibbs on top of, what they already had and this offense. Like, it's just, you're right. Like, I'm trying not to scare myself off of it because this is such a huge number, but we talked about these bad teams are just really bad right now. And I wish there was some life I could take from Tennessee. Like, I went back and watched that film against the Bills. We talk all the time. These bad teams just shoot themselves in the foot, right? The dumb penalties, like the turnovers, the sloppiness on third downs, and then defensively, you're right. Like, they made a couple of business decisions against that Bills team, and you could really tell in that second half where it's like they kind of gave up. Even when they got down 10 or whatever it was just like they're totally checked out. So I'll follow you on this one. I do love this Lions team. It's just, it just irks me to take a big favorite. So I got to kind of push that aside and just know that this is a good number and it probably should be closer to 14.
Dude, we hate taking big favorites, but we do think the number should be much, much higher than 11, and it's come down. And as much as we hate doing it, that has been the side, not just this season, but historically in this spot. You don't always take double-digit favorites, and we're going to talk about one later on with Kansas City and Vegas, where we both agree that we're not going to want to back Kansas City, but this feels like a spot. Like, this Lions team is great. And, we talked about this on Sunday. Jared Goff was 17-1 on Sunday afternoon to win MVP. He's now 8-1. He leads the league in completion percentage. He leads the league in yards per attempt. He's second in QB rating. He's elite against pressure right now, which was the one Achilles heel. He has the second most 20-plus yard passes. He has a 4-game stretch where he's completing 83.5% of his passes, which is the greatest 4-game stretch in history. And I know not all of this can last.
I can't.
But I think when your offensive line is this good and you've got a game plan that is so focused on being physical and pulling up safeties to protect against the run, there's something that is more than just luck and timing here. It's like there's substance. It's foundational.
It's fair. Just like you just said, though, we've been riding this train for 3-4 weeks in a row now. So eventually we do have to hop off.
It's the only reason we're winning anything right now.
It's true.
And I think there's a difference between selling high and still being ascendant. Like, this stock is ascendant to me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's time to sell.